Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Raptor X here with Good Clean Gaming RX, and today we are back once again in Blender doing some more modeling for my game. I guess we're just going to refer to that as Project Wilderness until we actually reveal the name of the game. We're going to keep that quiet for right now to kind of protect that availability. I'm going to go ahead and get in here. I did look actually at the shortcut keys, and we can use 1, 2, and 3 for selecting the vertices, lines, or faces. So that's quite handy now to know that. I'm going to go ahead and we'll do our usual loop cut and delete this face. And then we'll go ahead and add our mirror modifier. Right, mirror. Turn on clipping and set that to 0.01. Okay. With that done, I'm going to go ahead and scale this. And we're going to go 0.05. There we go. And that should bring that down to about the size that I want, right around 2 inches or so. And then we go ahead and get into there. I'm going to put a loop cut there. And just like the other day, we're going to go ahead and scale these on the Y and then drag them in on X to kind of give it that nice round shape. We've got to go ahead and get a reference. Let's see here. Let's go for images. I've got this pulled up on the other side here. Let's drag this over. There we go. And, oh goodness, there's a lot of options. I'm kind of looking for something like this. But I'd like to get something that's actually got like a head-on cross-reference. And I doubt I'll actually get something like that because it's I might just go with that, even though it's not it's not quite. It kind of does give us what we're looking for. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll use this one. Whoops, no, not that way. We're just gonna save the image. All right. And go ahead and we'll head back here. And we'll go in there. And downloads, and this is going to be under H. There we go. It's way too big, so we'll go ahead and scale that down some. There we go, something like that. And drag it back a little ways so that we don't have now, of course, this is not going to be an exact reference because this has got some foreshortening to it, obviously, since it's not an exact. No, it's not exactly straight up and down. So I'm just going to kind of use this as a cross reference. I suppose we could also rotate this if we wanted to and kind of see if that matches once we're done with it. But okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select the faces here. And we're going to drag those up. And then we'll go ahead and do the same to here. Those down, kind of give that the length that I'm looking for. I think that's probably it. There. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and do a couple of things here. We're going to go ahead and extrude, and we're going to, yeah, there we go. Extrude it down on the Z-axis and scale it slightly. Give it that, the metal, the actually working part of the hoe there. And then we'll go ahead and do that and drag that down some, like so. Good. Maybe slightly more. I like that. All right, and then we're gonna need to give this a couple of let's make this a little longer because we're gonna have to curve this around. Probably a little too long, but all right, I'm gonna leave, say, about right there, and then we're gonna rotate this slightly like that. Actually, I don't want to do that quite yet because I want to leave these all pretty much the same. So, and then I'm going to go ahead and we'll put another one, say right there, and another one there, and another one there, and say another one right there or so. Might all be a little too close, a little too far apart. I may end up cutting this down some. And then we'll go ahead and go over to wireframe so that we can select those. And we'll just start dragging and rotating these. Um, there we go. That'll straighten that back out. All right, that's probably, that might be okay. Go ahead though, and we'll just move this up some. Doesn't need to be quite that far. Removed, and then we're going to rotate this slightly just to give it a little nicer curve there. There we go. I think kind of like that, I guess. Guess all of this feels maybe a little, yeah, definitely a little too. Oof. Mm, 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 mm. We'll drag that in so that that's a little more round. I know that it feels really small. Um, there's not a good way to do this either. Um, mm, okay. Mm, maybe. No, that's really not what I'm looking for either. Um, wow. I really should have increased the scale on that a little earlier. Let's do this. We'll go back to wireframe. And then go to, so there we go. We'll go this way. There we go. That's a little better. I might go for a little more than that. There we go. That looks better. Okay. Now go ahead and we'll go back to solid here. And not sure if it's going to be easiest just to grab this and kind of extrude it and then build it from there. That might be the easiest way, honestly. Scale Z to 0. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and extrude this as well. Kind of like so. Actually, we might need to add a little bit farther because we want that to have a decent amount of bite to it. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and there we go. Square that off. And square that off. There we go. And then we can go ahead and we'll just extrude this out like so. And there we go, something like that. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and we'll drag this one. So look, that's not quite what I'm looking for. I want a little bit more of a graduated curve here. Let's go this way and go for the wireframe. I might have needed another one in there. Let's do that. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and we'll put one more loop cut in probably about right there or so. So that we can give this let's turn that back to a solid. There we go. And then we're going to grab this on the z-axis. There we go. And just give it a little bit of an edge there. All right. So that's our basic hoe. It looks like this one's got a little bit more of a belly to it right there. So I'm going to go ahead and try and drag this around a little bit. Mm, there we go. That looks a little better. We scale that a slight bit. There we go. Yeah, I think I like that. I think that looks relatively nice. We'll go ahead and I'm gonna grab these. Actually, we just need a central vertex. There we go. And we'll go up like that. And then we're going to go ahead and triangulate faces. There we go. Okay. So that kind of gives us our hoe. That's kind of a large working head there, but I mean, it's going to go in a game. You do want it to have a little bit more of a visual distinction to it. I'm going to go ahead because these are almost always just straight. There's really no shrinking or shaving or anything goes on to these handles. I am going to go ahead though and we'll select, oops, no, not that way. Let's go this way. There we go. And we'll select, this probably would have been faster just to, there we go. Do that and then we'll deselect those four as well. There we go. All right, and we're going to go ahead and we'll give this some material. I'm going to call this one head, and we'll give this a nice dark, there we go, something like that. I'm going to turn our metallic all the way up and our roughness up slightly, and we're going to assign that, And then we're gonna, can I invert? There's an invert selection over here as well. Our selection, key map. There we go. Common shortcuts. Scripting, dragging, text editing. Wasn't what I was looking for. There we go. Editor keys, 3D viewport. That's not really what I'm looking for either. Switch selection mode. There we go. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Selection. There we go. Select inverse. Control I. All right. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and create another material here. And we'll call this one Go Handle. And we'll kind of give this a nice wood yellow color. We don't need a metallic value on that one. And we'll go ahead and assign it to that. And then we can go over to material preview. There we go. And that kind of gives us a nice little preview of how that might look. All right. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Obviously, these are a little simpler than some of the other tools that we've been making, so not quite as long as a video today. I am gonna see about making that one rod. I just didn't have time yesterday. I'm building a bunk bed for my kids, so it took up a little bit more of my time yesterday than I had planned. I didn't have time to make it, so we'll hopefully do that. Maybe do that this evening and get that for tomorrow. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. And I will see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone. Ta-ta.